All right, folks, here we go. Continuing on with the notes for Chapter 2, and this time around starting off with talking about business models. Now, there's all sorts of different business models that are out there, but we're going to talk about some of the more prevalent ones that you're going to come across. First one, should be no surprise, is the advertising business model. It's the largest area of financial support. In its simplest form, advertisers buy time and space within content, and they have products and applications that they're trying to make the audience aware of. They want access to that audience, and media outlets provide that. Business to consumer, another business model. In this category, businesses market products and services to consumers. Consumers pay for the item on a case-by-case basis. So basically what that's saying is, you rip your t-shirt, you need a new t-shirt. A business tells you about their t-shirt that they have available. You like the t-shirt, you go, you buy it. You don't need another t-shirt until you rip that t-shirt, case by case. And that is the business to consumer business model. Subscriptions, another form of business to consumer, but with this model, there is a recurring charge for the product or service. So the media example would be a service like HBO or Cinemax or Showtime, where they provide that service to you on a monthly basis. You pay X number of dollars and you continue to have the privilege to access their particular channel. Consumer to consumer. In this model, the actual transactions are conducted among consumers, but a middle entity helps to broker the transaction and collects a fee for its services. It would be like if you were buying something on Craigslist and Craigslist took a percentage of the sale of whatever you bought on Craigslist, and then that's how they would make money. Craigslist doesn't do that. It was just using that as an example. Freemium. This model provides a sample of content for free before the user must either pay or subscribe to receive the complete offer. A new season of programming comes out. You get to watch the first episode for free. The rest you have to pay for. Forces affecting markets. Few that we'll talk about here. Economic conditions, referring to a number of economic factors that affect the general business cycle in both national and local geographic markets. So there's all sorts of different things that can go into this. Things that are to be expected throughout different times of year, different years, and then of course there's the wild cards that nobody expects. As economic conditions fluctuate, they impact consumers as well as businesses, including the media. Key economic indicators include the rate of inflation, local employment trends, retail sales, measures of effective consumer buying power, housing developments, and changes in interest rates and tax laws. All of these things, and many, many others, may influence the actual possibilities for a company to be able to do business, to buy and sell. Technological change is ongoing. With a host of portable devices, consumers now watch video via their smartphone, tablet device, or iPod Touch. The idea of appointment viewing is becoming less and less of a thing as people are used to consuming content on demand wherever they are. It's not even necessary for some people to sit in front of a big screen or have the access to their super high fidelity sound system when they can just pull things up on a phone wherever they are. User-generated content has led to an expanding array of entertainment and information and an alternative to content delivered by the traditional electronic media, and also providing at many times, in many ways, the exact same content that traditional media has provided. So it is becoming tougher for traditional media to survive. They are having to come up with innovative ways to sustain themselves, sometimes playing along with some of the things that new media are doing. Regulatory forces. Because managers must be aware of changes in the regulatory environment, most media firms employ Washington attorneys to keep abreast of significant developments. Trade publications and membership in trade associations help managers monitor the evolving regulatory climate. It is good to keep up on current events. In addition to these sorts of things, there's all sorts of industry newsletters, different trade groups that will provide different sorts of information on current events within what's happening in the television industry, the radio industry, on and on and on. And to keep up with what's happening around you is great for managers to be able to get a sense of what's new and upcoming, gives some ideas on what their competition might be up to. And these aren't things that are just good for managers to follow, by the way. It's good for all of us that have an interest in the industry to be able to keep up with what's going on. So it helps us to see where there may be potential opportunities for work, but maybe even certain types of work that we're looking for. There's global forces as well. Regions outside the United States offer tremendous opportunities for expansion and development. And the large reason for this is that penetration outside the United States isn't necessarily that high. We are the most developed nation in the world here in the United States, and we have so many things available to us. Now, sometimes we get jealous of what some of the offerings are internationally, but at the same time, the availability of content on the scale that we have in the United States is not available in all the other countries around the world. Sometimes there's international restrictions that are in place by different associations, different national governments on what can and cannot be shown in a particular country. And that creates different barriers as well. So usually what tends to happen is that services in the United States may partner with services in other countries in an effort to be able to provide content across international boundaries. Social forces. Society is changing not only in terms of demography, but also because of converging economic, technological, regulatory, and global forces. Interest and excitement about technology and lower costs have enabled more households to purchase computers and broadband access, leading to a society that is very connected. The mobile phone is narrowing the gap between the information rich and the information poor. The smartphone is one of those things that has really helped international connectivity. Certain devices have become so affordable, and in countries where they've had the ability with the infrastructure to be able to create wireless networks, there's all sorts of different opportunities for an international audience, even with some of the regulatory things that are in place. Synergy. From a management perspective, creating new alliances and partnerships among media companies has become a standard practice of doing business and allows for new entrepreneurial thinking, not just between international company interests, but it's happening in the United States. Folks that have traditionally been staunch competitors are now collaborating on different things for the mutual benefit of both companies. Synergy will suggest that two different entities will operate more efficiently as one business than separately. So, if there is a benefit to competitors to work together, many times they will. And with that, we'll take a break and we'll finish up the chapter over in the video marked Chapter 2, Part C.